All right, Bills Broncos, the Sunday 1 p.m. game. I thought it was going to be a good one early on. I was like, this is what we came for. First drive, Bo Nix, deep dig, bomb right after that. I'm like, fireworks. I want 35-30. I want a different game than what we saw objectively on Saturday. Turned out that was it. That was the last time the Broncos would get a point on the scoreboard. The Bills scored 31 unanswered in that one as they kind of showed Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos team who's boss.
This game, Mike, I thought was the most fascinating game of the weekend. Obviously not necessarily exciting, but obviously the score says this was a blowout, 31-7. But it was 10-7 at halftime, and it would have been 10-10 if Will Lutz didn't miss a field goal off the upright, which, by the way, fun fact, no opposing kicker has ever made a 50-yard field goal in Buffalo in the playoffs, 50 yards or longer, ever in NFL history. So that is your fun fact for the day. Fun fact number 2, Bo Nix's touchdown pass that you mentioned to Troy Franklin is the only rookie-to-rookie touchdown pass in NFL playoff history. There never been one before that. Is that unbelievable?
It actually is unbelievable. I guess there haven't been that many rookies make the playoffs, though. There's only like a handful in NFL history. So I guess that would be why, but that is crazy.
Yeah, I guess. And then if you have another rookie, you're usually not good if you have a rookie receiver, rookie quarterback. So I think my issue with this game is that I thought Sean Payton got so out-coached that this, you know how Sean Payton felt about Russell Wilson last year, just do whatever to get him out of here. That's how I felt watching Sean Payton this game. Like, what are you doing, Sean? This is just, you are such a better coach than this. I mean, we saw the fake punt in the first quarter, but to me, it seemed like he didn't trust Bo Nix. I mean, this game was 10-7 at halftime. Bo Nix was 8-12 for 102 yards in the first half. 2 of those incompletions were drop passes. So it should have been 10-12 for, say, 125. So he did well. And the Broncos lost this game in the third quarter, first 2 possessions. They went 3 and out on their first possession. They went 3 and out on their second possession. You know what they did on both of those drives? They went run, third and long pass, run, third and long pass when they couldn't run the ball at all. And so if you give Bo Nix a chance, he's obviously not Josh Allen, but he's got the legs. Let him be your guy that runs the ball. Let him create for you and let him do what he did to kind of get you this far. So, look, I get that your head coach are a little leery of putting that kind of pressure on your rookie quarterback in the playoffs, but I just felt like this game could have been closer if Payton had done a better job of calling the offense in the second half.
I think he had much too high expectations for his defense. He called a game like it was going to end up 13-17, right? Like it was going to be one more score, and that was it for the Broncos offense, and that was going to decide it, which is just so unrealistic when you're playing Josh Allen in the playoffs at home. It is. I don't care how good your defense is. And yeah, the Broncos defense is great, but Joe Brady is one of the best play callers in the NFL, and he really flexed his muscles in that second half. I thought they had a great game plan coming out of halftime, and I think you really saw the talent efficiency as well for this Denver Broncos offense, whether it was drop passes. I think they had 4 in that game, or whether it was just the lack of explosion at running back. Javonte Williams, guy can break tackles left and right, but he had some windows to get through, and he just didn't have it. You saw when Cook got the ball versus when Williams got the ball, and they had similar creases. It felt like Cook was gone. Williams was getting his ankles clipped and 5 or 6 yard gain. They didn't have a run longer than 7 yards from their running back position all game long, and they were leaning on it. And that's difficult to win when you're just trying to trust your running game and your running game's delivering nada.
Yeah, and it's also difficult to win when Josh Allen is out there doing Josh Allen things. I mean, the 4th and 1 play where the Broncos defense had him dead to rights, and he just slings it to the back of the end zone. And then you see just one of the most unbelievable touchdown catches of this year's playoffs where, 4th and 1, a lot of teams think, let's just run the ball, or let's have Josh Boot out and run the ball, or let's do a QB sneak, whatever. What you don't do is have your quarterback run around for 7 seconds, fling it 40 yards downfield in the air,
to a running back.
Yeah, to a running back in the back of the end zone who just makes a spectacular catch. And that's it. When Josh Allen starts playing like that, you're just not going to win. As you said, you can't have that expectation that you're going to hold the Bills to under even 20 points. So I think the fact that the Broncos held the Bills to 10 points at halftime was probably a disservice to Payton because he felt like they could win a low-scoring battle when, in fact, that was not going to happen. And he kind of seemed like neutered his own offense. And I feel like the Broncos could have made this interesting, but the Bills were never going to lose this game.
Yeah, and he had to know that points were coming because they never got to Allen. Like, they could not pressure Allen in that game. 9 pressures on only 32 dropbacks, according to PFF. And their usage of that 6th offensive lineman, Alec Anderson, like, they really leaned on that Denver Broncos front. And if you're scoring the matchup of that O-line of the Buffalo Bills versus the Denver Broncos defensive line, it was one of the most resounding victories in the trenches of any matchup this postseason, that we saw over the weekend. They dominated one of the best defensive lines in football. They had a great plan to do so. They said, you guys are all shrimps, no offense, but like, they are undersized. They are trying to, not shrimps compared to me, shrimps compared to NFL defensive linemen. And they try to create chaos. And all they were doing was doubles up front and saying, we will move you off the football more often than not. And they won that matchup. And that's where this game was basically decided, in my opinion.
Yep. And as you said, look, the Broncos winning that game with the most sacks during the regular season. The Bills gave up the fewest sacks. So that was always going to be the biggest matchup, was going to be in the trenches. And the Bills offensive line just beat up the Broncos front 7. And that was it. I mean, once the Broncos, they did get a couple of sacks, but they just couldn't get any consistent pressure. And if you're not pressuring Josh Allen, he's going to destroy you. And that's what happens. So that's Josh Allen is that good. And if you're not going to pressure him, you're just going to lose by 24.